Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's the end of the month. You know what that means. It's time to talk about everything I read in May, plus what I want to read in June, and we're gonna see if I got everything off of my May TBR and if my rating predictions were accurate. I honestly almost forgot that I did these rating predictions. I did just go watch my own video to see what I rated everything or what my predictions were gonna be. Out of the 6 books that I had on my May TBR, I read 2 of them. Yeah, honestly, that's not that bad. 2 out of 6, that's not that bad. For my first actual monthly TBR, we're fine. Honestly, it was 2.5 of these, but we'll get to that in a moment. We'll confirm the rating predictions when we go through everything that I read, and we'll see if I got them right. The first book I read was a Kindle read. I read Dark Fae on my Kindle, which was one of the books on the May TBR, so check to me. Now, what did I predict? I predicted I was gonna rate it 4 stars. What did I end up rating it? 4.5. It exceeded my expectations, so I'm actually happy with that. I read Dark Fae and gave it 4.5. If you've never heard of Dark Fae before, Ruthless Boys is the series that it's a part of, and Ruthless Boys is a spin-off of Zodiac Academy. So it all takes place in the same world, in the Zodiac Academy world. Boy, oh boy, did I miss this universe. I missed the Zodiac Academy universe so much. The writing is so similar. Like, if you liked Zodiac Academy, you absolutely need to read Ruthless Boys because it is very much the same energy. You don't have to read Zodiac Academy to read Ruthless Boys. You can read Ruthless Boys on its own. I know there's a bunch of different reading orders online, but I read all of Zodiac Academy first, and then now I'm going back to read this one. I do see how things could be spoiled though if you don't read it in the other order. However, I have no memory skills whatsoever. So me reading this, I don't even know how things end up for these characters. Gabriel, I genuinely don't remember how his story ends, and he's in this, and I just, oh well, you know what? I'm taking it as a win. I may have no memory skills, but at least the plot isn't ruined for me. I don't know what's gonna happen. As a rough summary of what Ruthless Boys is about, it's a spicy fantasy, dark academia kind of vibe. I think if you really liked Fourth Wing and the school kind of academic aspect of it, you would like this. I personally don't love Fourth Wing. I liked the first book and then they just all went downhill from there. But if you like the academia school training aspect of it, I think you'd like Zodiac Academy and Ruthless Boys. So we're following our main character, Elise, who enrolls in Aurora Academy. And the reason she's going to this school is because she's trying to figure out who murdered her brother. So that's the whole concept of this series basically, is Elise is kind of infiltrating Aurora Academy, and she's kind of being a low-key spy and little detective trying to figure out what happened to her brother, because he was at the beginning of this story. Actually, before this book even begins, that's kind of where the plot starts. We do get some flashbacks into his perspective, which I really enjoy. I like seeing his perspective. The story is it's quite dragged out, because in the second book, we still don't, like, I'm on the 3rd book now, and we still don't have answers. So yeah, I don't even know when we're gonna find out. It's kind of a little bit of a mystery plot throughout, which I do like. We have 4 main male characters. Yeah, it's reverse harem. So why choose? I'm into it. I love triangles and messy and jealousy, and I love all that. I eat it up. Jealousy gets me every time. There's something about it. I love it. Gabriel and Ryder are probably my favorites. But at the same time, I love Leon and I love Dante. I love all 4 guys. I understand Elise. I wouldn't want to choose either. Elise is a vampire, Leon's a lion shifter, Ryder is a basilisk, Dante is a storm dragon, and Gabriel is a harpy. We do see these characters in Zodiac Academy. If I were to redo the whole thing again, I think I would listen to the proper chronological reading order, and I would go to Ruthless Boys and then go back to Zodiac Academy, because I think Zodiac Academy would hit even harder if I had the background story of all of these characters. So if you're wondering what to do, honestly, I think I would pause Zodiac Academy, read Ruthless Boys whenever you're supposed to. I'd look it up because I do not remember, and go back to Zodiac Academy. I think it would really hit. But enough on Dark Fae. That is the first book I read in May. Then I read God of Fury. Finally, I read the entire Legacy of God series strictly to get to this book. and it was worth it. This book, I think I finished it in a vlog 2 vlogs ago or something like that. I was sobbing. Bro. I think I cried through the entire last 10% of this book. It was just so heartbreaking yet beautiful. The mental health representation in this book goes so crazy. I really felt connected to these characters. I found with all of the other Legacy of Gods books, I didn't feel as connected to the characters. I kind of didn't really care about them that much, except for God of Pain. We all know I love God of Pain. I gave that one, I think, 4.5. This one was a 4.75, almost a perfect 5, but I found the beginning, I was just kind of, the beginning wasn't hitting as much for me. After about 30% through, I was completely obsessed with this. I really, really love this book. And I think the mental health and the family bond is probably one of my favorite things about this book. It was hard to read at times. Some of the intense emotions that our characters were feeling, it just pulled at my heartstrings. And these two, Nikolai and Bran, felt the realest to me in comparison to all the other characters. I loved Creighton and Annika, but Bran and Nikolai just felt the most genuine and the most authentic and the most realistic compared to everyone else. So this is an MM college romance. There's not really much else I can say about the plot because the plot of these books is just the love story and the smut and the dark romance. That is the entire plot of these books. There's not really much else happening on the back end. And this is the 5th book in the series, I believe. Another reason it wasn't a full 5 is because I didn't really like the spice that much. I don't find Rena Kent's spice writing to be that impressive, to be honest. It's just kind of meh. There's a lot of spice in these. This is a dark romance series, but I just find it's not, like, her wording isn't that good. It doesn't really do much for me, you know? There's just other books that have better written spice in my opinion, so that is another reason it wasn't a full 5, but 4.75 for this one. I loved it, and I do think it hits so much harder if you read the entire series. You could read just this one because they're interconnected standalones. However, it does hit harder to read this, so you might have to power through the other ones to get to this guy. Then I went back to my Kindle/Audible because I did get the audiobook of this one as well, and I read the second book in the Ruthless Boys series, which is called Savage Fae. This one I gave a 3.5 because it was a little bit slow. I almost felt like not much happened in the second book. Things were happening, but the plot wasn't moving along as fast as it was in the first one. I love the characters. I love all their banter. I love all the tension. It's just a silly, goofy time. I love it. Like, I really, really like this series. I can't really say much about what happened in that book. I already rambled enough about Ruthless Boys when we talked about the first book. Then the next 3 books I read, I actually read in my previous vlog. I did a reading sports romance books for a week. It was so fun. It was such a good time. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of contemporary romance. I'm a little bit of a contemporary romance hater sometimes because I don't love when things are super cheesy, and I don't really like rolling my eyes at characters, and when things are not believable, I don't like it. We all know I love when stuff is realistic and authentic and I feel connected to the characters. That is my favorite type of book. I like to feel like the characters are real, and a lot of the time in contemporary romances, it's like watching a rom-com or a Hallmark movie. I don't love that type of energy. I don't love cheesiness. I love deep, authentic, genuine emotions. The first book I read in that video was The Deal, which is the first book in the Off-Campus series. This is a hockey college romance. I was surprised. Honestly, guys, I really liked this book. I gave this a 3.5. This was such a quick, fast read. I read this so quickly. It's just one of those books where you can keep turning the pages and it's so easy to just get lost in the world and keep reading it. Our main character in this book is Hannah Wells, and she has some trauma in her past, which that's another thing. In contemporary romances, if there's no sort of trauma or problematic issues, I find it not relatable and not really, I just don't like it as much. I love when there's trauma. I love when the characters have trauma and issues in their past and things that they're working on or things that they're trying to get through. It just makes them more humanized, if that makes sense. But our main girl, Hannah, she definitely has some trauma in her past. She kind of struggles with boys a little bit. So she has this crush on the quarterback of the football team or something like that. I want to say he's a football guy, and his name is Justin, and he's this like super hot guy. She's so nervous around him, but she has a huge crush on him. In one of her classes, the teacher kind of sucks, and Hannah does pass this test that all the students take while most of the other students fail the test. So there's going to be a retake of the test, and our main male character, Garrett Graham, the hockey player, the kind of typical, I don't want to say douchebag, but you know, like a little bit cocky hockey player guy, he fails the test and he notices that Hannah passes it. So he asks Hannah to tutor him, and she's at first like, no, like I'm not gonna do that, like get over yourself kind of vibes. Eventually they end up making a deal, and Hannah is going to help Garrett pass his test, so she's gonna tutor him, and he is gonna help Hannah get Justin's attention. So that's kind of the baseline of the story. I really liked these characters. I thought their banter was so good and so cute and witty. The whole time I was reading this, I was literally giggling and kicking my feet. It was that kind of energy. I even filmed a read how much I can read in 1 hour video. And when I was editing the footage, I was like, am I okay? Because watching myself, I was like, I was literally giggling and smiling at this page the whole time I was reading. So that's kind of the energy you want from a little sports romance. It's not super spicy or anything, it's more cutesy. Okay guys, please don't be mad at me for this next one. I read Rewind. I attempted to read The Right Move. I know that the Windy City series is one of the most popular sports romance series ever right now, and a lot of people skip Mile High or don't like Mile High, which is the first book in the series, because they say it's just not their favorite. I was scared I wasn't gonna like it, and everyone said you don't need to read it, you can skip to the next one. So I did skip Mile High and I went to The Right Move. However, that was the wrong move. That was the wrong move, because I DNF'd this. I'm so sorry. I DNF'd this at about 30%. If you watch my last vlog, you will see me go through all of the emotions as I'm attempting to read this book. I really did not like this book. I really didn't like the writing, and I did not like the characters at all. I found them so unbelievable and so frustrating. I should have read Mile High. I do wish I started with Mile High. That was a mistake. So let me know if I should go back and attempt to read Mile High. I just don't know if I can do it, because I really didn't enjoy the writing of this, and I just found it kind of annoying, and our characters were kind of annoying. So I'm not sure if maybe I just don't like these types of characters that this author writes. I'm not sure. In this book, we are following Indy and Ryan. Ryan is an NBA player. In the first book, it's about his sister. So his sister's the main character. She's best friends with Indy, and Indy has nowhere to stay. So the sister from the first book, I really don't remember her name, she asks her brother Ryan, more like begs her brother Ryan, please, can Indy stay with you? Can she live with you for a little bit? She has nowhere else to stay. Please, I don't want her to have to move to Florida, because they're in Chicago. Eventually, Ryan breaks down and he's like, fine, you know what? She can stay with me, I guess. He doesn't want her there. He is very type A, organized. He's very, very famous. He's the captain of an NBA team, so he's super, super famous, very popular in Chicago. He's a very big deal, and he loves his alone time. He cherishes his alone time in his space, in his own apartment, okay, that he owns, that he bought with his own money. This is going somewhere, just wait. So Indy moves in. What does this bitch do? Disrupts his peace like no other. This girl is a mess. She is obnoxious. She is rude. She has no sense of self-awareness. She just moves right into his space, throws her shit everywhere. Firstly, she has so much stuff in her bedroom, she can't even close the door. It's just all over the floor. She's a mess. She's a disaster. While he's away on a business trip, what does she do? She decorates. Ryan is a minimalist. Everything is black and white. Everything has a place. Everything is organized. She put throw blankets on his couch, puts so many pillows all over his couch, all this color, purple, yellow. She puts curtains up that have pom-pom balls on them. While he's away on a business trip, and he gets home and he's like, what in the hell is going on in my house? Like, what are you doing? The audacity. How dare she redecorate someone else's space? No. It's shocking. It's actually shocking. So she does that. She also always leaves all the lights on in the house. She leaves cupboards open in the kitchen. I can't believe it. If I allowed one of my siblings' friends to move in with me and they disrespected my entire space, I would be so mad. I don't understand. I genuinely do not understand these characters because they're so incompatible to the point that it was just so unbelievable. I physically couldn't keep reading because I was getting so annoyed. There's just no way in real life these two would work. Ryan is type A, organized. He likes things in their place. He's very calm and collected and protective. And then she's just a brat. She's a mess. She's just all over the place. These two, they might have sexual tension strictly based on looks, but there is no way in hell their personalities would work in the real world. It is just, they're not compatible. And I don't agree with the opposites attract. Oh, she's helping him break down his walls and helping him loosen up a bit. No, she's actually probably triggering him. She also reorganized his entire bookshelf. If someone came in here and touched my bookshelf and reorganized my books because they didn't like how I had them organized, the offense I would feel, no, the audacity. The audacity on this girl drove me up the wall. I actually could not deal with it. There were so many things about this I hated. And I know I'm being the biggest hater in the world right now, but I'm just telling you my truth, okay? I'm so sorry. If you love this book, that is so fine. And I love that for you, and I wish I did. I wanted to love this series so deeply. Let me know if I need to give it another chance. I will never read this one, but let me know if I should go back and read Mile High. It is not gonna be a priority for me, but maybe one day. I began a life-altering journey, and that is the Boys of Tommen series. So after that traumatizing DNF, I needed something good. I needed something that was gonna have me sat, and this delivered. Binding 13 is the first book in the Boys of Tommen series. It is basically a love story between teenagers. And I didn't even realize this was a sports romance, but rugby is the sport that's being played in this one. Our main guy, Johnny Kavanagh, is the captain of the rugby team. He's also a really big deal in rugby. He's already going to be on a professional team within the next few years. All the scouts have their eyes on him. Everyone knows who he is. He's a very big deal. This takes place in Ireland, which was so cool, seeing their slang, seeing how they talk. I did get the audiobook for the first half of this because it's in 2 parts, and I really liked the girl's voice. I loved her accent. I didn't really like the guy's voice, so I don't really recommend the audiobook. I loved the atmosphere of this. I have a friend who lives in Cork, so I know the accent and I know the slang, and it was so cool seeing in a book. I've never really seen that before. We are following our main character, Shannon. Oh, Shannon. I feel like a protective big sister when I talk about Shannon. She is just this soft, little, breakable flower. She's 15 at the beginning of the book. She does turn 16 while in this book, so she's super, super young. They're in high school. Johnny's 17. The way it's written is just so real. It's really, really long. The font is so small, and this book has a lot of pages in it, but it needed every single section of this. There were times where it was a teeny bit slow, but not in a bad way. It needed to have those times to make you feel connection to the characters. So a lot of time with romance books, they're short, everything kind of wraps up nicely, things just kind of happen, and they're not super believable and genuine. And when the couple falls in love, you're just like, okay, yeah, like cute. This, you literally go through their entire falling for each other journey, and it actually feels like I was watching 2 high school students genuinely get to know each other and fall for each other. It was so sweet and authentic and felt really nostalgic to high school and those young years of your life. I felt so connected to these characters. Like, I literally feel like I want to protect them. I'm telling you, I feel like their older sibling, and I just want them to be happy and I want them to be okay. There's also a lot of trauma in this book. A lot of the characters have previous traumas that they've dealt with or are still dealing with. It's really heavy at points. It was just really well written. I think the writing was really, really good. I don't remember if I told you the rating already, but I did give this a 4.5. I think the whole series at the end will end up being a 5, but for some reason I'm settling on kind of a 4.5, maybe even 4.75, depending on how much I continue to think about these characters. Some little tiny things that bothered me were just, Shannon is so clumsy to the point where it was almost unbelievable. She walked straight into the chest of our main male character, Johnny, multiple times. That doesn't really happen in real life. Like, we're not just out here bumping directly into our crush's chests multiple times throughout the weeks. I think it was literally 3 to 4 times that she walked right into his chest. And he's 6'4". You're telling me you didn't see him? So some of those little things were kind of like, okay, like okay. And her being so teeny tiny is a big deal in this book, so if you don't like that, just be warned. It is part of her character though, that she's supposed to be seen as this really, really small, fragile, breakable little thing, and you just want to protect her. And that's how Johnny is. He just wants to protect her. He's so protective and so... I love being in both of their perspectives. It was dual POV. I love being in their brains and seeing all these conflicting emotions that they feel. It's just so genuine. Teenagers feel all these emotions, and I just remember in high school feeling so confused and scared and anxious and nervous all the time. Like I was always so nervous. I was such a nervous teenager. That's how they are too. They feel so real and all their emotions are so real. I felt a lot of emotions reading this, and I really enjoyed it. Some authors just have the ability to make you feel like the characters exist. They are real people, like the book could say, based on a true story. Those are my favorite type of books, and that's typically what makes a book a 5-star versus anything lower, is if it said based on a true story, I would absolutely believe it. Some authors just have that talent. Zodiac Academy, the characters feel real to me. Magnolia Parks, the characters feel real to me. In this, the characters feel real to me. Those are the ones that come to mind first, but that really makes me feel genuinely connected to a book or a story or a series. So I will be continuing this series, absolutely. I did have to start Book Club's book, which technically we have 2 more days left of the month. I've not finished Book Club's book yet, which is Kiss of the Basilisk, which is on this is on my TBR. I predicted a 3-star for Kiss of the Basilisk. So I'm only 20% through that right now, so we can't talk about it in this video yet, but this is all of the books that I read in May. Now we can talk about my June TBR. So obviously first we're gonna go with Kiss of the Basilisk. I need to finish this within the next few days. So I'm gonna keep it at the 3-star prediction. I don't wanna change the prediction from what I already made, so we're leaving this one at the 3-star prediction. I have actually started Vicious Fae, which is the 3rd book in the Ruthless Boys series, so definitely gonna put that one on the list. I think I wanna try to do 1 Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac book per month until I'm done. So this is the 3rd one. I do like to listen to these ones on audio as well while I'm traveling. I find it's a really good travel book just to put the audio on while I'm driving, and then I can switch to Kindle because I don't have the physical copies of this series. And my rating prediction for that one, I'm gonna go with 4 stars. I need to continue Boys of Tommen, so I'm definitely going to put Keeping 13 on the list. I did actually pre-order the Barnes special edition, even though I'm in Canada and I had to pay the exchange rate. I did order the Barnes special edition so that it would match this special edition that I bought while I was in the States. I did order that from Barnes & Noble. It comes out next month in June. So how perfect. I will be continuing that. I'm just gonna put that one on, not the entire series because they are rather large. So maybe this one can be another one that I try to read 1 per month. I don't know. The series might take over my whole life and I might just want to read the whole thing, considering the newest book also did just release as well. And I don't want any spoilers. So maybe I might end up just reading all of them. I don't know. We'll see. Well, I have a very busy month. I have a lot of traveling, so we'll see what I get to. But Keeping 13, I'm predicting a 5-star. I am predicting a 5-star. The next 2 books are the current top 2 options on Book Club's voting. So if you're not part of the book club, I do have a book club on Fable and Discord, and we are currently voting on June's book. The vote is still open for a few more days, so there's still time. But our 2 frontrunners are The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig and Happy Place by Emily Henry. So I do actually own Happy Place. See, like, this is not my favorite type of romance vibe. I have read, what did I read? Beach Read, I think. It was okay. I didn't love it. This just screams summer to me, and I'm very in the mood for summer books right now. So I am gonna read Happy Place. It's currently 2nd in the running right now. My prediction for this is 3 stars. Just a safe 3. You know what? 3.25. Let's go with that. A nice 3.25 star is my guess for Happy Place. And then finally, the front runner, the one that looks like it's gonna win the book vote, is The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. And I'm really excited about this. I actually, when I was ordering the Keeping 13 special edition, I did notice that Barnes had a special edition of Night and the Moth, so I did order that as well. Yeah, I think that that's gonna be our book club winner. I honestly have no idea what this book is about. I really liked One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. I think I have them up here. They're somewhere up there on that shelf. Actually, you guys might not be able to see them, but I really liked that series. I really like her writing. It's so good. And that was one of the most unique fantasy books I've ever read. I do find myself thinking about that series a lot more often than I thought I would. It was just so creative. So I'm really intrigued to see what she does with this series that she's writing. So The Night and the Moth, that is the final book in this TBR for June. I'm gonna predict a 4.25 for that one. Yeah, so this here's the June TBR. Let's see how many we can get off of this list. I have a good feeling about this because I really want to read all of these, and these all feel like things that I can get this done. I can do this. And that's gonna be it for this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.